swear affirm that the testimony about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please have a seat.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
First thing first, could you please sit close to the microphone and maybe pull the microphone close to your mouth and just try and speak into it for the rest of the morning?
Yes.
First of all, can you please state your name?
My name is Vance Līme.
Mr. Līme, I'm
Yes.
sorry, I've been calling you Lyme.
Okay.
What is your occupation?
I'm employed for with the state of Hawaii Department of Land and Natural Resources Conservation and Resources Enforcement Division.
What is, it's a long name, is there an acronym they use for your agency?
There is normally referred to as DLNR or DOCARE.
Okay. Is it okay if I use the word DOCARE?
Yes.
What's your rank at DOCARE?
I'm a lieutenant for the District 1 area of Oahu.
And then can you describe a little bit about what DOCARE is as an agency?
We are a full law enforcement agency that enforces the rules under the Department of Land and Natural Resources, and our jurisdiction is from basically the top of the mountain to 3 miles out
You say 3 miles out.
into the ocean.
How long have you been employed by DOCARE?
Approximately 20 years.
Were you so employed and on duty on March 24th, 2025 at around 10:34 a.m.?
Yes.
On that date and time, where were you dispatched to?
I was dispatched to the Pali Lookout.
Okay. What's the official name that DOCARE uses for the Pali Lookout?
Nu'uanu Wayside.
Also the Nu'uanu Pali Wayside?
Yes, Nu'uanu Pali Wayside.
Is that in the city and county of Honolulu, state of Hawaii?
Yes.
Which law enforcement agency or state agency normally has jurisdiction over the Nu'uanu Pali Wayside, if you know?
What was the question?
Sorry. Do you know who normally has jurisdiction over the Nu'uanu Pali Wayside area?
It's usually DOCARE.
And you said you actually went to the Pali Lookout. What did you do when you arrived at the Pali Lookout on March 24th, 2025?
Upon arrival, I met with the HPD sergeant who briefed us on the situation that was happening.
When you arrived, were any other DOCARE officers present with you?
There was 2 other officers,
And who was that?
Officer Dombrowski and Officer Pham.
And after being briefed by Sergeant Malloy, what did you and as well as Officers Dombrowski and Pham do?
After the briefing, we kind of made a plan to go up to the Pali Puka hike and trail and to assist HPD in the search of a male, or Caucasian male that was supposedly up there.
Lieutenant Līme, did you write a report for this incident?
Yes.
Okay. And what did you refer to the area as in your report?
In my report, I put the Pali notches.
Okay. Can you explain the difference to us?
Yes. If you're at the Pali Lookout looking towards the windward area of Kaneohe, the Pali notches are to your right if you're looking towards Kaneohe, and the Pali Puka is on your left as you're looking out towards Kaneohe.
Got it. So which area did you actually go to on March 24th, 2025?
We searched the Pali Puka Trail.
All right. I'm going to now publish what's been admitted into evidence as State's Exhibit 19. Lieutenant Līme, is the area that you searched contained on this diagram?
Yes.
What were you searching the area for?
For a suspect.
So a person.
A person, correct.
Mr. Līme, I'm going to, or Lieutenant Līme, I'm going to approach you, and I'm going to ask you if you could use this iPad to use this pen and draw your search pattern on this diagram. Could you do that for me?
Yes.
Okay, and as you do it, could you narrate the way you searched?
Okay.
And then if you could narrate into the microphone as you do that.
Our search started in the parking lot down below. We went up the Pali Puka Trail, up towards, I'm assuming the X is the...
Don't assume.
Okay.
Just you went
All
up
right. So up to the trail, about 5 minutes up the trail.
I'm
Okay,
sorry,
man.
is he drawing on it now? Because it's not showing up. Or
It's the red line.
The red lines.
oh, got it. Sorry, I didn't see that. Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Can you continue?
As we got to the location, we came in contact with one HPD officer who was holding security around the location of the scene of the incident. From there, we went past that officer in the scene. There was another HPD officer above that scene. So we went past them and we continued up the trail looking for any disturbances along the trail or going off of the trail where a possible person might be running and hiding. Went all the way up to the Puka, which is again, can't really tell where the Puka is on the trail, but went to the Puka. There was nobody located on top of the trail. Went past the Puka and then came back or doubled back down. We doubled back down to 2 different areas. One area is just above the scene or the location, an approximate area, and then there's another one just above that. Officer Dombrowski was by himself. He walked into this area. Officer Pham and myself walked into this brush or forested area to search for, again, another possible suspect
Okay.
and any other persons that we could locate in that area.
When was the next time or the next place you saw Officer Dombrowski?
As we went in, we kind of met up with each other in the area, and then we doubled down back and forth in this kind of a pattern all the way to the roadside.
Okay. In the area that you've now drawn on this iPad in the exhibit, what was the terrain like?
The terrain was thick brush, a lot of trees, canopy, a lot of bushes, a lot of nooks and crannies, a lot of small crevices and spaces.
You say nooks and crannies and crevices and spaces. What does that mean? Can you describe that a little bit for us?
There's little overhangs with brushes and dark spaces that we're kind of looking for and making sure that nobody's hiding in those areas.
As you were going through this area of the Nu'uanupali Wayside, did you have any concerns?
The concern was as far as safety because it was a steep hillside, and we just had to traverse that as slow as possible.
Okay. I'm going to take a backtrack just a moment, Lieutenant Lyme. Līme, I'm so sorry. Lieutenant Līme, when you walked up, or have you ever walked up the Pali Puka Trail before?
Yes,
How many times have you been up that way?
maybe 3 times, 4 times.
What's on the windward side of the trail?
Windward side of the trail is steep cliffs.
From the area that you hiked, could you estimate the height of the cliff?
Objection, Your Honor. Calls for speculation. And it's also vague. I mean, he hiked a lot of areas.
Could you estimate if you know the general height of the cliff?
No,
Is it more than? Can you estimate? Is it more than 10 feet?
Definitely.
Okay. Could you give us a general ballpark?
A few 100 feet.
All right. And then you described a concern on the area you searched with the red lines on this diagram. How steep was that area of the mountain?
And again, Your Honor, it's vague. There's red lines all over the map.
You can answer if you understand.
It was steep, but there are some areas where you would really have to take your time and go slow and hold on to the bush or tree to get down.
Okay. Moving forward in time a little bit, Lieutenant Līme, once you and Officers Dombrowski and Pham reached the bottom of the area you searched, what did you do next?
Well, we were in that area searching. There's about 4 other officers, so DOCARE officers, that assisted in the search.
Okay.
And want me to draw in that area?
Could you, if you know?
Yeah. So those 4 officers entered around this area and went this way, and then you searched towards our location.
Do you know who those officers are?
Maybe 2 of them.
Could you tell us their names?
Officer Maui Lee, Officer Ibarra, Officer Kanaka Ole. Not sure who was the 4th one.
Okay,
Or
no
the
problem.
3rd, yeah.
I'm going to come and retrieve the iPad from you and take the exhibit down, and then we'll move on in time a little bit further. And we've taken State's exhibit down, State's exhibit 19 down from the iPad, or from the view. Okay. How long were you up at the Pali Lookout and the Nu'uanu Pali Wayside area on March 24th, 2025?
The total time we were there?
Yes.
Approximately 9 hours.
During that time, did any other officers or DOCARE personnel respond that you're aware of?
Yes.
Okay. Who else arrived at that area?
It was our chief. The names too? Oh,
Please.
Chief Redula, Lieutenant Henry Haina, Officer or temporary assigned Kai Kamau.
And after these people, or these DOCARE personnel arrived, what steps, if any, did they do?
Officer Kamau was given the approval by our chief, Redula, to fly his drone or his unmanned aerial vessel or vehicle.
What time did Officer Kamau start using his drone?
About 13:30, 1:30, around that time frame.
And what area did he use his drone in?
He flew his drone over the area. We did a search from the parking lot, and I believe he went up the Pali Puka Trail and then kind of doubled around what the area we were searching.
Do you know what time Officer Kamau finished using his drone?
He had to ground his drone maybe like 10 minutes after flight because of the HFD helicopter coming in.
All right. Did you see any other agencies or government organizations respond or participate in the search other than DOCARE?
Yes.
Who else?
More HPD officers arrived. Some were from the Specialized Services Division, K9 unit, and the major events.
What did you see what the K9 unit did?
They mustered up, had a plan, and then
Well, I'm just objection.
Just think.
Sorry. Did you see where they went, I guess?
yeah, they themselves performed the search up the trail, the Pali Puka Trail.
Did you see what the Specialized Services Division did?
They're all together. Yeah.
Sorry, I understand. All right, Lieutenant Līme, how long did the search continue for on March 24th, 2025?
I believe around 16:30 or 16:45 or something like that. The commander in charge during that time kind of told everybody that we're gonna cease searching in the area, leave the area, hold the gates to make sure that no one enters the park, and then come back at a later time.
What later time was it planned to come back?
I believe around 2000 hours, or 8 o'clock p.m.
Do you know why the search was suspended until 8 o'clock p.m.?
They wanted to come in dim light and use infrared or heat or something like that.
Overall, what was the forest cover like in the area that you searched?
The forest cover is thick. The canopy that the trees make is super thick. The trees are maybe 50, 75 feet tall, and it throws a pretty good canopy.
What was the ground cover like underneath those trees?
Muddy, wet, slippery.
And what was the brush cover like?
Some areas are super thick, where you really had to push through, and some areas it'll open up some space and you could walk freely, but most of all it was just thick with a lot of trees.
And what was the slope like again?
It was a good gradient. I couldn't tell you, but it was just pretty steep in some areas.
Did everything you testified to occur in the city and county of Honolulu, state of Hawaii?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I have no further questions at this time.
Mr. Otake, can we take a pause after the recess?
I'm gonna be like 3 minutes,
Please.
maybe 4. Good morning, Lieutenant Līme. Thank you for being here. When you were just describing the thick canopy and the thick brush and the steep terrain and the muddy, that's when you were off the trail looking, right?
Correct.
Okay, because the Pali Puka Trail is, you access it from the same parking lot area as the Pali Lookout, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Is Pali Lookout under DOCARE's general? Is that a park you guys kind of take care of or manage, I guess?
Yes, it's under the Division of State Parks.
Okay. So it's actually a state park, this parking lot, yes?
Yes.
Okay. And the Pali Puka Trail itself, I know you're talking about, veering up and down. The Pali Puka Trail itself, it's a known hiking trail, open to the public, that hikers in the public use regularly, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. No further questions.
Any redirect?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen of the jury, let's take our morning recess. Our 15-minute recess. Ms. Alpha Fisher will collect you at 11:20, where the carpet is on the fourth floor. Leave your notebooks on the chair. All rise.